This is One on One. Suzanne Delehanty is the director of the Zimmerli Art Museum at Rutgers. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm happy to be here today.
What is the Zimmerli?
The Zimmerli was founded in 1966 to celebrate Rutgers' bicentennial, and was founded at first as a small university art gallery called the Rutgers University Art Gallery, and then about 20 years later, in 1983, it was expanded and renamed the Jane Voorhees Zimmerli Art Museum, after the mother of the two benefactors of the new expansion, Ralph and Alan Voorhees. And today we're one of the largest university art museums in the United States, and we have some 60,000 works of art in our collection.
We're going to be showing some pictures that actually come from
Our
Jackie. Raquel, is it from this book, right? This book is Striking Resemblance, The Changing Art of
Portraiture.
Portraiture? Help me on this one. And by the way, as we show these pictures, I'm fascinated. It's just, they're portraits.
Well, one of the things that we did is 3 or 4 years ago, when I first arrived at the Zimmerli, we really wanted to engage students in the Department of Art History more intimately in the thinking about works of art in our own collection.
Right.
And we were fortunate enough to secure a grant from the Mellon Foundation that allowed us to do a graduate exhibition seminar that was co-taught by one of our curators, Donna Gustafson, and also by a faculty member, Susan Sedlowskis, in the Department of Art History. So 13 graduate students, men and women, gathered at the museum and looked not at slides, but at real works of art. And the idea was to look at the portrait, which is, as you know, a long-standing theme in art.
Sure.
And to kind of look at it outside of the box. I mean, after all, we're Rutgers, we're the Zimmerli Art Museum. We want to look at things in fresh ways. And we really did. Students looked at works that were European, they looked at works that were American, that had come to Rutgers before the museum was even founded. And they looked also at Russian art and Soviet art, because we have very, very strong and special collections in those areas. And they sort of zoomed around and explored this topic. They talked to conservators, they went to photography studios, and came up with a graduate exhibition booklet.
What's that?
This is called this is in paper, but it's also online.
Not about face.
It's not about face. So
Identity, appearance, past and present, all about
face, not about face.
So
it was a way to look at portraiture in kind of a new way. So that was one project that the students worked on in the research development phase of the exhibition. They also did papers and presented these papers to a group of faculty from different disciplines, including a physician.
But you know, was that the physician who tried to look at, observe our faces and try to interpret what that meant in terms of what? Illness? Help me understand this.
Well, I think a lot of this was a fascinating presentation by this faculty member from the actually a physician at Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, that really said that for her to fully understand her patient and her patient's needs, one, she needed to talk to them, but she also needed to look at them while she was talking to them. So that it wasn't about reading, it was really about getting a sense of the whole person and the person's health as being something that was really integrated. So a lot about art museums and having students in art museums who may not be art historians is really training them to have higher powers of observation, which you're a journalist, so you look at things very carefully too, but in a very special way.
But you know what's fascinating to me about this? People would think, oh, I know what museums do. And what you're just describing, frankly, Suzanne, and a whole bunch of folks watching would say right now, I didn't think that's what a museum does. This really sounds very different than what the preconceived idea of what a museum is. Fair to say?
Well, I'm really glad you picked up on that.
Well,
that's what we would like to have people feel that way. We're different in a number of ways. One, we're part of a large research university, and certainly we're very eager to look at art in the context of a lot of other disciplines.
Interdisciplinary approach.
One of the shows that we did that I think gives a good example of that, we did a show called Water.
Water.
All right, here's a theme. All of us are made of water. The earth is largely made of water. So it feels very, very, very accessible as a theme. But in reality, it's very profound.
Are we looking at pictures of that?
We're looking at a picture of water. These are examples of, these are photographs made actually by a faculty member who teaches at Rutgers of all the fountains in Rome. So all the architecture that was made to carry and to produce water. The students were invited to dance for the opening of the water show, and so they wore blue and carried large pieces of blue ribbon.
Students, faculty members, the community.
We're there to serve all, exactly.
I got to ask you,
Yeah.
time is limited.
Yeah.
How much do you love what you do?
I love it a lot.
Because?
Can't you tell?
Yeah, I can tell.
Well, because it's about people, it's about art, and and new things come up every day. And if you work in a museum and you're a director, yes, there are things that you make things beautiful for the public, but there's lots of logistical things that happen behind the scenes that are really fascinating to me too.
But I have to ask you before you get out of here. By the way, I want folks, have we put up the website? Raquel, have we? Let's put it up one more time. At the Zimmerli, people go there, find out more, go down to Rutgers. But I want to ask you this. Always have to keep raising money?
That's certainly part of it.
Not the fun part.
It can be fun because people, you meet along the way amazing people who want to do things to make a difference. One of the fundraising initiatives that we have,
A few seconds, go ahead.
that we're really proud of is something called Art Within Reach.
Art Within Reach.
And it has lots and lots of supporters from the community because they understand that an art museum is a place for education for children. And it's really to make our children's programs broadly accessible. And they're going to be celebrated at the Department of Education in Washington this summer.
You are doing wonderful work. Keep it
Thank
up.
you.
We're very proud of you. You have an open invitation. Thank you so much, Suzanne.
Thank you. Bye.
That was wonderful.
Right? Oh, good.
That was great.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Barnabas Health, Kessler Foundation, Investors Bank, Johnson & Johnson, AmeriHealth Caritas, parent company of Perform Care, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, and by New Jersey Natural Gas, transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been produced in partnership with St. Joseph's Healthcare System.